Nike is apparently funding puberty blockers
Oh
for the kids.
no.
I don't know if you knew that. Yeah, Nike is now, well, they're funding a study
Mm.
um of puberty blockers for kids, and I want to find this quick.
A lot more people have seen the light that this is not a good thing, and they're seeing that these puberty blockers do have long-term effects on these children because they told us the lie that, oh yeah, kids who are on puberty blockers, they're reversible. Once they get off of them, they'll develop as usual, which anybody with common sense should know that's
Oh, it's
not the
just
case.
putting on pause, Melanie. What are you worried
Yeah,
about? Why are you so
everybody should
transphobic?
knows that you can't pause puberty and then once you're 25 years old say, you know what, I changed my mind. Your wiener isn't going to develop as it should have after that, or your breast tissue, whatever it may be. But yeah, it's just this is mutilation. It's a chemical mutilation for children,
Yeah.
and yeah, not good.
Here it goes. New York Times published more than 10,000 words about former San Jose State volleyball player Blair Fleming over the weekend. Fleming is a biological male who identifies as a woman, pretends to be a woman, who competed on the women's team and helped make the Spartans one of the top teams in the conference. Buried deep in the story was a single paragraph that should raise some eyebrows. The author mentions Joanna Harper, a biological male who identifies as a woman and purportedly studies trans athletes. It's important to note that Harper played an advisory role in the 2015 Olympics trans decision, allowing biological men to compete in biological women's Olympic events with testosterone suppression. That's not the interesting part. Harper is currently helping lead an ambitious study of trans adolescents that measures their results on a 10-step fitness test before they start hormone therapy and then after they've begun to medically transition every 6 months for 5 years. But it continues. When she told me we talked in February, the climate makes the study somewhat uncertain. I assumed she was referring to the Trump administration's cuts to the NIH research grants, but she said money was not the problem, obviously, because there's always weirdos that fund this stuff.
Exactly.
The study is being funded by Nike. The problem was Trump's separate order targeting medical care for trans youth. If we can't perform gender affirming care, there's no such thing as gender affirming care, she explained, then we can't bring people into the study. Wait, there's a study being funded by Nike? Why is a sports apparel company allegedly funding research that focuses on children and young teenagers taking potentially life-altering medications? I mean, they are life-altering medications. That's
They
not even
are.
potential. Yeah.
Yep.
And trying to prove that males should be allowed in girls and women's sports.
This is child abuse. It's evil. It's diabolical that this man who's pretending to be a woman is even doing this. And the reason, and this is just very telling because it's like, okay, he's got a bone to pick with people because he thinks that men should be able to participate in women's sports. So he's going to use a bunch of children as guinea pigs.
Yeah.
And have the funding by Nike to do it, to mutilate these children and ruin these children's lives and abuse these children just so that he can get some sort of affirmation of being a male who competed in women's sports. It's all this is. That he just wants to try to get the test results to reflect that, oh, look, this didn't really change or this didn't have any negative effect on like their performance and or the males can still perform with women because with the females because look, these medications made it to where they didn't develop as much as a male as much and all this. So this is all just for his own biases, and he is mutilating and abusing children to achieve his own affirmations.
What do you make? My position on this has always been that the biological men that want to compete against biological women, it is some sort of fetish for them.
It is, they're perverts.
Yeah, I think that they are perverts or they deeply hate women.
Yeah, the actual misogynists. That's what it is. And a lot of these, that's where a lot of this stems from as well. Like, I've not seen anybody hate women as much as a troon. Because that's the thing, is it's either like a deep-rooted jealousy because they can never be a woman. So they deeply hate women. And it's also like, the perverted element that a lot of them just get off on this kind of stuff sexually And it's just disgusting. It's a hatred of women and just a perversion. And it's just like, oh yeah, what? You're gonna put a man who hates women because he wishes he could be one in a sport where he can physically hurt women. Like, that is the most brain dead thing, but this is where we're at.
Well, and they get off on it.
Yeah.
And they just, I don't understand. This nonsense that allows for this to continue to happen. Like, I just don't understand that, I don't understand how these creeps just keep, they must get off on it, because I can't think of another way or another reason why these people would continue to force their way into women's sports.
And that's the thing, is perversion always gets into deeper and more depravity. And that's why these troons are targeting children, because it always ends in like child sacrifice. All of this stuff does. And this is a form of child sacrifice. You are robbing these children of their future. And so, I mean, you see this kind of corruption and stuff, that the corruption in the Bible and all of that, and the evil that happens in the Bible, well, it ends in child sacrifice. And this is a case with this is okay, a bunch of these perverts and stuff started trying to normalize this kind of lifestyle, and now they're targeting children because that is where Satan takes things. And so it's disgusting. I think this entire study and all of this should be shut down. It shouldn't even be legal to be putting children on puberty blockers and this, that, and the other. All of this needs shut down. It shouldn't even be legal.
Yeah, I don't see, I mean, I just don't see the kind of the big picture here. I mean, I guess I do see the big picture with these creeps. Like, they're trying to, I don't know, damage these kids forever. And like you said, I've often believed that this is some sort of demonic, crazy thing. Like, it just doesn't seem to me like a normal thing that we're doing here.
1000%. Look what happened with Jazz Jennings and what we've seen. Like, that was just a horror story of his entire documented case of, here's a child, a boy who had these medications and even the surgeries, and who was castrated, and at what was he, 17?
Yeah, he wasn't even 18 years old.
He wasn't even 18 years old, and then just completely ruined his life, robbed him of his future, and he is constantly in a deep depressive state. That's why he got so fat, because he was in bed and was stress eating and just like emotional eating, because that's the only time he had any sort of comfort, was when he was eating. And so then there's even like recording, like where they recorded a conversation with his mom where he's like, I just don't know who I am anymore. He didn't have a sense of identity. Well, what do you think is going to happen when you tell a kid that they can be the gender that they're not? They will never be that. You are setting a person up for a life of misery because they want to be something, and they're going to try to be something that is impossible, that they can never, ever be, instead of embracing who they are. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's incredibly well said. I don't see any scenario here where this is not completely demonic. I mean, or completely it's just gross. The whole thing is just gross. I don't like that for too long we've said, people have said, oh, this is just wrong. I think that it's far more than it's very sick, and
it's depraved. It's
what are these people these people who are funding this stuff? Like, what is driving that? It sure seems like it's some level of demon.
It is.
like you said, the child sacrifice, this is a form of that. And
It is.
they're more than happy to do it. And Nike's more than happy to pay for it. These big, like, global organizations, things like that. I don't like it. I think it should be, not just shunned, but, absolutely banned.
Yeah, and this is absolute evidence of just depravity and demonic demons in the world. Like, this is evidence of that, because how the heck do people come up with this stuff otherwise? It is just evil that exists in the world, and we don't battle just against flesh and blood, but of evil forces and principalities, as the Bible tells us. So yeah, this is an example of that. I don't know how people can live in an atheistic mindset when they see true evil that exists in this world at this capacity, but it exists.
Yeah, it definitely does. And for me, that's a no for me, dog. Like, no more of this stuff. You're dooming these kids to a life that we already know now. Yep. They used to say, like, oh, do you want a trans kid or a kid that's no longer alive anymore? Well, now we know that this doesn't even help them.
Right.
And that for that. It's just weird medical experimentation.